That's fascinating. So like, what are abs like?
Usually
It's me. They
sleepy.
tend to scream. They scream at me. They hate me. They fucking hate me. They don't want to do the work ever. And then when they do, they scream. It's like, oh my God. I
Yeah,
think
they're
abs and I
usually
don't get well along. Get along well. Yeah.
they're usually, oh, I love that the we go. Yeah, it is the we go. It's like a connection for sure. Abs are typically sleepy. Um,
Okay. They seem
yeah,
to be.
yeah, just honestly, and I don't think that they need to be. So that's the other piece of it that I just had a sense of how the body was designed was flawless. And if I just could learn exactly how it was structured
Mm-hmm.
and how that structure came to be, like there's always a reason for everything. And then if I could clearly understand what that structure was about and what it was meant to do, then I would always be able to return the body back to that design. And the
Mm-hmm.
more I learned about that structure, the more it made sense to me. So, as an example, our spine has 4 curves in it. Most people are like, okay, great, 4 curves, except
Yeah.
that when I see the spine, it's like a happy seahorse, and it's how we are buoyant across the earth. So, if we want to be buoyant the way we move across the earth, there's got to be something about those 4 curves that needs to be established or restored. And then that made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the base of our spine is called our sacrum. I didn't name it that, but that translates in Latin to mean sacred. Well, somebody
Oh.
smarter than me figured out that that was the sacred bone of the body. Why? Well, the
Mm.
more I looked at that architecture, the more I could recognize the way it connects with the 2 parts of the skeleton and the way it's based in the pelvis and what it does and what relies on it. It absolutely affects the entire structure of the body. And architecture of cathedrals are mimicked after the design of the sacrum.
Mm.
Okay, then that makes sense. So then does that mean that God's inside my body? Yeah, it does.
Mm.
And it
Mm.
also means that that bone's super important to the work that I do because it's got this central hub of sacredness, and that means it affects all the other structures in the body. So the more
Mm.
I learned about the design, the more I could understand what my role was in the rehabbing of it and restoring it out of pain.
So the body wants to go back to the way it was because they say the body adapts, which it does, but really it
That's
doesn't want to, huh? It doesn't want to. It wants to rather stay where it was.
It's kind of both. And I talk about this a lot when it comes to, when I'm training practitioners and it comes to symptoms, because a lot of times practitioners will want to just go right to the symptom and or a person who owns the body, a client, will complain about the symptoms.
Mm.
Totally understood. Except that by the time those symptoms are present, the body's already adapted, as you said, many, many times as a friend to try to not express pain. By
Mm.
the time it is expressing pain, that's really the time to be reverent. It's like any other relationship that you have with any other person. By the time they're upset, they've probably been trying to navigate that for a bit
Mm.
with you, right? Like in relationship with you. So we don't want to be in an adversarial relationship with our body, even when it's expressing pain. We want
Mm.
to recognize that it has adapted. It really already has tried to not express pain. So isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely that it's been
So
my
sweet.
friend? And then how can I show up with compassion and then meeting it where it's at instead of being dismissive or disappointed or victimized or all the things that we do when pain presents.
It's funny. You bring up an interesting point. Like, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It's like, I pretty much had the attitude that my body was just like a bunch of clay that was thrown together for me just to use as a suit.
Mm.
Just throw away. And I know my body's not, it's mad at me. It's like growling at that idea right now. And I was a soldier for a lifetime, so I was just kind of like, oh, well, it gets, do your best. We'll just keep her together as long as we can, but not really like loving it or seeing it as alive or anything. And so, do you like a plant? Should we talk to our body? I mean,
Oh yeah.
okay. So, do you have your own ritual like that?
I do actually. Do you know the work around water? The doctor who talks to water,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, Dr. Emoto. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Hi,
So
water, so good. Yeah.
exactly. So I remember first hearing about his work, I don't know, like early 2000s maybe.
Hmm.
And I thought, all right, well, I'm open to anything. I'll try it once. And if it works, I'll do it twice. If it doesn't, then no harm, no foul. And I remember doing an experiment with myself in the mirror for 4 days. And I would say, sort of like ugly things about, just like you're ugly. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm not kidding you. By the end of that week, my coloring looked different. My face looked
Oh.
sallow. I was like, wait, am I making this up? Maybe I just had a rough week. And then I literally flipped the script. Like I was talking to a different body of water, like Dr. Emoto talked to 2 different jars. And all of a sudden, like my eyes started to sparkle. I was getting compliments like after 4 days. And the
Wow.
reason is like, we're mostly water. We're like more
Mm.
than 70% water. So of course, if that experiment is true and we believe it, and why wouldn't we? He's got the evidence. Then this is the water container too. And how are we talking to it? Are we even talking to it? Are we just ignoring it? The most magical piece of art that God's ever made. Are we just ignoring it?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
We are. Well, the body too seems to be conscious on its own too, on top of the water. I think
for sure.
the water's like the blood. I don't know. I agree with the water part too, 100%. Because when I'm low on water, I fall asleep. I'm almost dead. It's like running out of. But I also think that when we get diarrhea and we get throwing up, I think a lot of times there's something about the water that stores the memory. I think, like the pain memory or whatever, where we cry, like we cry out water. I think water serves as like a lot of a conscious vehicle for sure. But I know I've been in the hospital many times, and mostly past life wound. I think karma of past life wounds in my body. So almost every wound or every time I've been hospitalized, I get the flash of like, oh, that's the life where I actually died. And so my body's like, fuck you, like, so to come back and sort of make peace with it. So in those times, I'm like, I talk to my body. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't respect you. And I have noticed that like I heal much faster. The doctor's always impressed how fast I heal because I'm like totally talking to it like a plant
Exactly.
with that body part,
Exactly.
Yeah. It's very, so where did you receive this information for your shot smith? I mean, first of all, can you talk about what it is, just in essence, as a package deal, or a different approach, and then where you got it from?
Yeah, so it is a different approach, and I was in a little bit of debate about that for a while because I didn't want to actually own it. I didn't want to be responsible for it, and I was in a little bit of disbelief as well. And it was a business coach actually who told me that I had a method and I needed to go talk to attorneys, and I kind of blew it off for a while. I was living in New York at the time, and I thought she was just being, sort of exaggerating because, I roll like New Yorkers. But then I went and met with a trademark, a patent, and a general practice attorney, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you have something," and that's not easy to do because it's the body, and we all have the same shoulder joint, for example. But yeah, we could trademark it, and you should get on with it. And I was like, "What the heck? What what do I do now?" And I went back to that same business coach, and she said, "Well, now you share it." Oh, right, got it. So I do, and I figured out the curriculum, and I train other practitioners in the method, and it's a pretty steep learning curve, but it's totally approachable if that's the kind of work that you do. If you really want to do as a body worker, movement or manual practitioner, if you really want to do deep dive into orthopedic work and orthopedic restrictions and remedy them so that your clients can go back to moving and feeling free in their body, then this is the right approach, I believe. And I've been doing it again for many decades, and I think it's like the best thing since sliced bread. And I am also aware that there's other practices available too. I happen to have a lot of evidence that mine works. So cool. I love that. And the way it came to be was early on, right out of massage therapy school. I was still getting my undergraduate degree in physical science. And I was studying everything about the body, biomechanics, etc. And I just was hungry. Like I couldn't get enough of the training and education. And I started working with an orthopedic physician, doing very like intense, quick sessions, nothing like what you would think about if you thought massage. It was all orthopedic work. And I was lit up, like, give me more. And for a variety of reasons, I stopped working for that doctor. And turns out that was a good thing, I later found out. So I was following my intuition and, listening to my, the energy parts of me. I'm steeped in energy work as well. And so I was using that as a compass of what to do next.